Coming right up on Sooner Sports Pad, the #1 golfer in the country joins the show, and basketball season is right around the corner. So Audrey and Dylan will break down their way too early prediction of what seed OU will land in the NCAA tournament. Sports Pad starts now.
Welcome to Studio D on the campus of the University of Oklahoma. This is Sooner Sports Pad, brought to you by OU Health. And now, here's your host, Abbi Bennett.
Happy Monday and welcome to Sooner Sports Pad. I'm your host, Abbi Bennett, and standing next to me are analysts Dylan Rivera and Audrey Goodson. Well, the Sooners are now 9-0, and they wrecked the Texas Tech Red Raiders 52-21 at the Palace over the weekend. Caleb Williams had an impressive game, to say the least, and we even got to see Spencer Rattler take the field in the fourth quarter. But what about that OU defense? Defensive lineman Isaiah Thomas forced a fumble and recovered it on the same play. When he swiped the ball from Red Raider QB Donovan Smith, Thomas had 3 tackles and helped the Sooners hold the Red Raiders to just 373 offensive yards. Pat Fields had a great game with 1 interception after the ball was tipped by Isaiah Thomas, and he caught it midair and ran it so fast he even ended up taking out a cheerleader on the sidelines. And almost halfway through the third, Justin Broyles intercepted the ball, giving the Sooners possession, putting the Sooners up 38-7. And like I said, the Sooners took this one home. And I will say I was excited when Spencer Rattler stepped onto the field and he received a standing ovation from the audience. That was pretty special. But I want to know, what Sooner stood out to you? Was it Caleb? Was it Spencer? Was it someone else? Who was it?
Abbi, I'm just going to state the obvious here, and my Sooner standout is Caleb Williams. He broke 3 school records this weekend. Literally, okay, so let me just get out my stat cards to read this to you. So he threw for 6 touchdowns in Saturday's Red Raider rout. He's also now the 3rd Sooner in school history to throw that many touchdowns with no interceptions in a game. And I bet you can take a guess as to who those other Sooners may be. They're Heisman winners, Kyler Murray and Baker Mayfield. That's not all. He shattered yet another school record for the most passing yards thrown by a true freshman quarterback in a half. In the first half alone, he completed 12 of 13 pass attempts for 268 yards and 4 touchdowns. I mean, come on. There's a reason why they call him Superman.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And I like that you went quarterback. I like it so much that I'm going to go quarterback as well. We haven't seen him in a while. There's been a lot of rumors, but Spencer Rattler came into the game and reminded us all of how good he really is. 5 for 5 for 67 yards and a touchdown on just 5 minutes worth of action. A lot of people say he was always scared to take shots downfield and that he was often inaccurate with the deep ball, but a 42-yard TD ball refutes those opinions. A lot of talk about his teammates not liking him, but 90% of the Sooners sideline lost it when he threw the touchdown ball to Darby, and they ran to celebrate with him. The fans loved seeing him on the field. Loud cheers, "We want Rattler" chants, a standing ovation in the Studio D audience today for Spencer Rattler. Fantastic performance from him. He showed up in the fourth quarter and he showed up big, so he's my Sooner standout.
All right, love both of those picks. Well, there were some impressive plays for sure over the weekend from OU football, plus a play from women's basketball might have caught Maddie D'Addario's eye. Let's toss it over for her to break down her top 3 plays.
It was a great Halloween weekend all around for Sooner sports, from the basketball court to the football field. Here are my top 3 plays.
Number 3, OU women's basketball. Ncaa taught speed through the passing lane, firing towards the net, going behind the back, and finishing with a reverse layup. Number 2, Caleb Williams looks to be in trouble. Ducks his way outside of the pocket, floating a 22-yarder into Mario Williams' hands in the end zone. Both Williams earning Big 12 awards this weekend. And for this week's number 1, we have Speed D with Isaiah Thomas tipping the throw, landing right into the hands of Pat Fields for a Sooner interception.
That's it for this week's top 3. Back to you guys.
Practice last week really showed on the field this weekend. Let's hear what Coach Lincoln Riley and Isaiah Thomas had to say about it.
Yeah, I really loved the week of preparation, and I felt guys did a really good job carrying it over from practice field to the game field. Made some, I think, big improvements. obviously a kind of a boost there of getting several key guys back, and you combine that with a great week. I thought the guys mentally were just in a really, really good place.
The way we performed translated to how we practiced. I mean, we had a different way of how we practiced this week. I mean, we still practiced with energy, effort, and execution, but we added some things in there, switched up some periods, and added some more competition to just get those juices flowing and those competitive urges to go. And it translated out there on the field as a whole team, offense, defense, and special teams, and it was fun to see and fun to be out there.
Well, when we come back, we will catch up with a member on OU men's golf. Plus, the softball team recently just got a big check for a future upgrade when we return. Sooner Sports Pad's Alyse Jones spoke with redshirt senior and Rutgers transfer Chris Gotterup from OU men's golf. Let's check it out.
I'm here with OU men's golfer Chris Gotterup. Chris, how are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing great. Well, first of all, I wanted to say congratulations on your big win at the East Lake Cup, the individual and the team win. First off, so what did that mean to you?
It's special to get the team win on TV, our second one of the year, and we won a match play tournament this time, and it's nice to cap off the fall season with a nice big win.
So you're ranked #1 as the best golfer in the country right now, and you won Big Ten Golfer of the Year, but then decided to transfer to Oklahoma. So why did you pick OU?
I picked OU because they're one of the top dogs in college golf, and I just wanted to challenge myself, and so far it's gone exactly as planned, but it's been fun, and we still have a lot of work to do.
So what do you think that it'll take for the Sooners to win a national championship title for this season?
It's going to require a lot of depth from all of our guys. There's probably 7 or 8 guys that are pushing for spots each week, and we're going to be in competitive qualifying week in, week out, and it's just going to come down to the end. We're all going to have to come into stride at the end when it matters, and hopefully we can get it done at the end.
So who do you say are some of the younger guys on the team that Sooner fans should be looking out for this season?
Well, I think if anyone was watching Eastlake, you saw 3 of them that, everyone should keep an eye on, and Drew and Jackson and Steve. The second day when we played Pepperdine, they all came out with big wins when me and Logan didn't get anything done that day. So if that just goes to show the depth that we have this year, and those guys, if they can keep stepping up like that, we're going to be in good shape.
Okay, one last question. What are your goals for after this season?
After this season, I want to keep playing golf for as long as possible, but nothing. I don't know what's going to have in store for me in the future, but if I keep playing well, hopefully things will fall into place.
Well, congratulations on your wins so far, and we wish you the best of luck this season.
Thank you very much.
Abbi, back to you in the studio.
Well, OU softball had quite a busy week last week. They were honored during the game on Saturday. Their national championship rings came in, and they were gifted a $12 million donation from Love's Travel Company to build a brand new stadium. Saul Meyer goes in depth about what to expect from the newly announced Love's Field.
Hey guys, this is Justin Arlo with Oklahoma Softball, and I just want to give a huge shout out to the Loves family and their generous donation to the future generation of softball and just women in general. You guys are awesome, and we appreciate you guys so much.
Last week, OU Softball announced that they were getting a donation for a brand new stadium from travel stop company Loves. Here's what current head coach Patty Gasso has to say about the new stadium.
I just don't even know how to express how excited we are as a program, as a staff. This is something that is beyond special to us, that is going to take our program to a whole nother place we've never experienced before.
The donation will be around $12 million and will feature a championship display for softball, new concession stands and restrooms, a 10,000 square foot indoor practice facility, new training rooms, new locker rooms, and a classroom, as well as 3,000 seats, which more than doubles the capacity of Marita Hines Field. Gasso tells us how these new features will impact the team moving forward.
There's just so many differences now where we are just self-sufficient, And since I have been here, we've always had to use or borrow somebody else's facilities. So that alone brings a lot of pride to our program, and I just can't wait to share all the details, because I think that's going to help other programs out there as well to see what they're missing out on.
This is where the new softball complex is going to be, on the corner of Imhoff and Jenkins, where future Sooners are going to look to win national championships, just like this legend right here.
I love Marita Hines Stadium. It's something that always feels like home. It's cozy, it's well loved, but I'm definitely excited for the future, because I think we're entering a new era, not just with OU softball, but not just with OU moving to the SEC, but just in general for women's sports. And I just think it sets the precedent for the new stage that we're having and what it means to be a female sport that is successful. So I'm excited for the precedent that we're setting for all women's sports.
Mendez tells us why a new precedent needed to be set for equality in female sports.
And I mean, if you look at the numbers from the Women's College World Series compared to the College World Series, I mean, the numbers are there. They don't lie. The fans, they show up. The merch, it's there, it doesn't lie. And so I just think that companies are finally starting to see that and see past it. And once you invest in something and once you see it grow, especially from the beginning, it is so rewarding. And I just think that this sport, female sports in general, there's so much passion, there's so much hard work that's poured into it that it can be really gratifying for those companies that invest.
Reporting here from the home plate at the new Loves Field, I'm Saul Meyer, Sooner Sports Pad.
Now stay right where you are, because when we come back, these two are facing off. Thanks for sticking with us. It's time for Face Off. Now, with basketball season right around the corner and both of our Sooners have a brand new head coach this season, I want to know what seed you think the men's basketball team will fall into.
I think we need to be careful in setting too high of expectations in Porter Moser's first season, but I don't think they will land any higher than a 10 seed. But just hear me out. I don't think that's a bad thing. Let me tell you why. So the Sooners are only returned 4 players from last year's squad. The top returning scorer is Emoja Gibson. He averaged 9.1 points per game and played in all 27 games. Elijah Harkless tallied 8.1 points per game, along with about 5.5 rebounds and a little over 2 assists. Harkless had a season-high 19 at home against Iowa State. Now, the reason why I say that a 10 seed isn't so bad is because that traditional first-round 10 versus 7 matchup oftentimes goes to the 10 seed. Now, they wouldn't have to play the top seed in the region until that Final Four game is on the line in the Elite Eight. Might not be such a bad thing. I'm thinking ahead.
I see what you're coming from. I guess I see it. Well, last year Oklahoma had some surprising regular season victories and nabbed a 9 seed in the tournament. I think this year's team is even more well-rounded, so I think they slot in as a 6 seed when March rolls around. Let's start with the biggest change for this OU roster. That's Porter Moser. The new head coach has an impressive resume that includes a trip to the Final Four in 2018 and an 8 seed just last year with the Loyola Chicago Ramblers. Now, the real calling card of his teams is his defense, allowing the lowest points per game in the country at only 56.1 points per contest. Now, mix in Jordan Goldwire from Duke. Yes, Duke to the roster. An ACC all-defensive performer who averaged 2.2 steals and 4 assists at one of the most prestigious basketball programs in the country. Throw in Tanner Groves from Eastern Washington, a guy who gave the Jayhawks a 35-piece in the tournament. Look for him to be in the mold of Cameron Krutwig on defense. A loud, big body in the middle. Okay, so I think a lot of guys that are coming in, like Tanner Groves, Jacob Groves, even Ethan Chagwa from SMU, those guys will make a big impact on this team this year, and they'll nab that 6th seed.
All right, now staying on the topic of basketball, what are y'all's Final Four predictions for the tournament?
Gonzaga, Texas, UCLA, and Purdue are going to round out my Final Four this year. Now, let me tell you why. So Gonzaga returns their after losing last year's national championship game, some key players are back. including Player of the Year candidate Drew Timme, along with the WCC's 6th Man of the Year, Andrew Nimhard. Next, unfortunately, our rival Texas gets in after hiring away Chris Beard from Texas Tech, and they brought in some really good players in the transfer portal. Now we'll move over to the Pac-12. UCLA will take the next top spot after they made their surprise Final Four run last year. Lastly, Purdue will win the Big Ten, where Travion Williams and Jaden Ivey will round out one of the nation's best teams. And arguably, I say this in regard to the Big 12, I think the Big 12 is the best conference, the nation's top conference.
I'd agree.
They're also returning 8 of their top scorers, and they haven't made it to a Final Four in 41 years. I think this might just be the year that the Boilermakers do it.
Yeah, I think Matt Painter's a great coach. He runs some unique offensive systems, so I think that's a sneaky good pick. Well, one thing that I've noticed with the tournament is that there's usually a couple of teams that are kind of like surprise teams in the Final Four. Last year it was Houston, and really UCLA was the shocker. And this year I've got Final Four regulars Gonzaga and Villanova. Then I've got a really good Michigan team. And give me the Alabama Crimson Tide to punch their ticket into the Final Four. Let's start with the second most dominant team from last year, the Zags. The Dogs returned Drew Timme, who, sorry for the reminder, gave OU 30 and 13 in the tournament last year. But not to mention the #1 freshman Chet Holmgren joining the squad. They'll be back with a vengeance. For Villanova, last year the team was humming along before meeting up with the eventual national champions in the Sweet 16. Michigan lately is always a good team that falls just shy. This year they finished the job and they punched their ticket. Finally, Alabama. The Crimson Tide deploy a 3-point heavy offense, and that can kill you on an off night. Surprisingly, it never hurt them in the tournament. A few too many turnovers against UCLA and an overtime defeat kept them from making it to the Elite Eight last season. If Nate Oates' crew can shoot the lights out once again this season, expect them to be back in the picture. So for me, it's Gonzaga, Michigan, Nova, and Bama.
All right, some interesting answers. But now, audience, it is time for y'all to vote and cheer loudest whose answers y'all liked more. So if you like Dylan's, give it up.
I said 6 seed. I said 6 seed. 6 seed.
Okay. And if you like Audrey's, cheer louder.
The sleeper, come on, let's go.
All right, Audrey, since your family came, I'm going to give this face-off win to you.
2-1 today.
But when we come back, I'm going to give you all the Sooner sports to watch for, plus we're going to have some trivia. Men and women's tennis will be in full swing Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, competing in the ITA Fall Championship and Nationals, plus Big 12 tournaments, including the men's Big 12 Individual Championship. And volleyball will take on Iowa State back-to-back on Friday, then Saturday at home, and OU football will have their first bye week this week. Now, it is time for some trivia. Are y'all ready? It only made sense, so we're doing basketball questions.
Okay, let's do it.
Okay. First question, who scored the most points in OU men's basketball history?
Wayman Tisdale?
Correct.
Yeah.
Dylan. All right, 1 point for Dylan. Next one, who scored the second most points in OU men's basketball history?
I'm Blake Griffin?
No, I'm so sorry. Next guess.
Buddy Hield?
Correct.
Let's go.
Come on, Audrey, I have faith in you. Okay, next question. Who scored the most points in OU women's basketball history?
Courtney Paris.
Correct!
I love women's basketball. Yeah. I grew up watching all of Sherry Cole's teams.
Courtney Paris was dominant back then.
She and her sister Ashley, they were awesome.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
I'm excited for the
I
season.
love those
Both
twins.
of them, men's and women's.
New coaches on both sides.
I'm glad you buzzed in because I was going to guess Stacey Dales. So
she was awesome too. 2002.
Yeah.
Okay, next question. Who has the most rebounds in OU men's basketball history?
I wonder if this is a trick question and it's also Wayman Tisdale.
Correct.
Oh my goodness.
It's like you know basketball or something.
I actually was guessing on that one. I genuinely didn't know.
That was a good guess.
Yeah. I knew that he was averaging like
one.
20 and 10 throughout his entire career here. So I was like, I'd imagine he's probably up there somewhere. So.
Okay, moving on. Who scored the most points in NCAA men's basketball history?
Oh.
It's kind of a toughie.
Is it Kareem Abdul-Jabbar?
No.
I don't know how long he stayed. I don't think he stayed that long.
Ooh. Maybe if I give you the years.
Ooh.
Yeah, give me the years.
Okay, 19 in between starting year 1968 through 1970. If you know.
No, it wouldn't. Never mind. I take back my buzz.
Any,
I unbuzz.
Any fan want to pitch in if they have an answer?
Who? Pistol Pete?
Correct.
Really? Wow.
Okay, so you had 3. You had 2 points?
Yeah.
Okay, Dylan, you're taking this one home
It's okay.
again.
I already won one today, so.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised that Pistol Pete was number 1.
I
didn't think
know.
that he was that dominant, but obviously I didn't watch in the 60s and 70s, so I don't know for sure. But
who's excited for some basketball this season?
Yeah.
I'm super excited. I got to make my way to Lloyd Noble this year.
I love the new head
I'm
coaches.
ready to go.
Really?
Ready to go to the LNC.
I love both the new head coaches. I think they're both doing a great job with trying to get the Norman community involved with the team, and it's really kind of creating a whole family atmosphere inside of Lloyd Noble.
Yeah.
It's going to be really exciting.
Wait, I have
to
one
see.
last question for y'all. Who's your favorite player? Or who are you looking forward to most maybe this season?
Elijah Harkless.
Yes.
I'll go Ethan Shagwa, actually. I think he's a Tulsa guy, so that's why I'm going there.
Great players for both of y'all.
Yeah.
But thank you so much for watching Sooner Sports Pad. We'll be here next week, same time, same place. Have a great night.